Recently, I've realized how important it is to read books. And every successful person I've ever listened to or heard of, they all read books. They educate themselves. They have this they have this lifelong student mentality of constantly learning. There's more to learn, and having humility and knowing that there's you don't know it all. And I think the school system ruins reading for you because you're told to read books that you couldn't give two shits about. And you're being forced to read something, you're being forced to be interested in something that you don't want to do. And for such a long time, I had this negative perception of reading because reading was something that you did at school, and everyone hates reading because of the stuff that you read at school. And what I've realized with reading is that if you can find interest in what you're reading, you'll be more inclined to read it. That sounds stupid, but for me, for so many years, during school, I thought to myself that I refused to read another book. I refused to pick up another book. But now I can't get enough of it. Now that's what I want to do. All I want to do is just read all day because I'm training my brain. I'm seeing this as a game. I'm seeing this as the more I read, the more knowledge I get, the more knowledgeable I'll become, the more intelligent I'll become, the more I'll be able to help people, the more I'll be able to offer my services to people. The more I learn now, the more I study now, the better my life will be because of what I know. And it's not what you get, it's what you become that's important, I've learned. And the question is, what books do you do that will gain your interest? And for me, the easiest bit of interest is self-interest, right? And self-development, self-help, self-improvement books are basically helping yourself. So how can you not be interested in helping yourself? When you learn about the magic of thinking big, for example, it's helping you. Of course it has interest for you because it's helping you. You read things in here and it changes the way you view certain things. It's ridiculous. It's different. For example, now I'll think of something right now. Isn't it obvious why many people stay at one level all their lives? Their thinking alone keeps them there. There's so much value in these books. It's ridiculous. Remember to look important because it helps you feel important. Shine your shoes, look sharp, get a suit because it helps you think sharp. There are things like there's so much value in book. A soldier feels and thinks like a soldier when he's in uniform. A woman feels like going to a party when she's dressed for a party. An executive feels more like an executive when he's dressed like one. There is your own benefit you get from these books that you can't really mimic anywhere else. And the difference that will set you apart from a lot of people is that a lot of people want to better themselves, but they just can't be bothered to better themselves. So if you're spending your time reading books, consuming certain content, learning new things, implementing new things, you beat 90% of people just like that, just by doing that. At school, for the longest time, I genuinely just couldn't read. I'd read the words on the page, I could read English, but nothing would go in. It wouldn't make sense. There's no story forming in my brain. And it really scared me for a long time. And I genuinely thought I couldn't read. And that wasn't the problem. The problem was that the story wasn't interesting. What I was reading was not interesting. It was not benefiting me. And honestly, reading the self-improvement books changed it all because I get benefit from reading them. So of course I'm going to be interested. I want to better myself, so of course I'm going to be interested in the book. And I want to read it because it's helping me. There is a few people ask, well, what books do you read? Well, if I was you, the book, the gateway to self-improvement in business is probably Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Because it basically tells you and shows you, but the way that you've been thinking, the way that society has told you to think towards money is wrong in a sense of how to make money. There's a system that's being put around you and you're only told to think a certain way, to believe a certain thing. But these guys teach you how to think outside of the box and get wealth that most people don't have. And basically he explains there's two fathers, one a poor dad and a rich dad. And the rich dad teaches Robert Kiyosaki certain things and the poor dad teaches Robert Kiyosaki certain things as well. And then the things that the poor dad says is what we believe, what we have in our opinion most of the day. And the rich dad says a bunch of different things that you would never have heard of that you see the benefit of. So I think Rich Dad Poor Dad is like a gateway to self-improvement. It's a gateway to like business. And after that, probably How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This basically tells you how to get better at life, because life is just full of people. And if you're better with people, you're better at life. Basically. It's just as easy as I can put it. And when you're reading the book, think of the benefits that you'll get from reading the book. You won't know exactly what it is, but you know that your mindset will be changed after you read the book. So look forward to that. Look forward to gaining the benefit from reading the book. No one wants to talk to some boring person that just talks about themselves or alcohol or parties or whatever it is. Become more interesting. It's crazy like how much your life will change when you become more interesting, when you know more. People have more value out of you and they can speak to you more and you have more to offer. So think about this next time you are thinking about reading a book. Just think about your own benefit from it and go to self-improvement books because they help you out. Honestly, it did change my life having this perspective on things, because find the benefit that you'll get from doing it and then you'll feel more inclined to do it. See you in the next one.